If somebody claims they love you, but they're giving you conditions, run.
What is up, YouTube? Welcome to the very first episode of the Joanne and Bola Show. Today, we want to talk about Davido and his girl Chioma, and we want to analyze the issues that they've been having. But first, the intro. What's up, YouTube? So this whole post basically started with a guy called Swag Best Music. He made a post on his Instagram. He said that if his name starts with a J or D for Davido, he ain't shit. And there's a girl right there who liked this post, and her name is the Chef Chi. Chef Chi happens to be the baby mama of Davido, and we all thought that Chef Chi is going to be the one that Davido gets to marry. These are posts I checked, right, and there's no recent post about Davido. The earliest one that Chioma made about Davido was in March of 2020. Also, Davido has a lawyer called Prince Tooth, this guy here, and apparently Chioma and this lawyer, they've unfollowed each other. David also hasn't posted about Chioma in a very long time. The last time he posted was to wish her her birthday in March of 2020. Clearly, something is wrong with these two guys. I want to analyze what exactly is happening. Stay tuned. So YouTube, my name is Bola, okay, and with me to analyze this topic today we have a girl. She's what's her name?
My name is Joanna.
All right, Joanna, welcome. Today I want to talk about Davido and see what's up with him. Davido seems to have quite a few baby mamas. The first child that Davido had, her name is Imade, and then he had another child called Haley, and then he had another child for Chioma. That guy is called Ifeanyi. And then there's another girl before Davido became even popular at all. You know, this girl, it was alleged that she had a baby for Davido, but Davido said, "It's not my baby, it's not my baby." Okay, we give him that. But Davido, even after having a child for Chioma, apparently seems to have another child. Seems to be having another child with another girl. Her name is Larissa. And I think that's the one that broke the camel's back. And we know that Davido apparently it looks as if he's gonna like be with Chioma forever. He even sang a song and called it Assurance, right? He said, "I give my baby assurance." Apparently, we don't know the baby that Davido is giving assurance. Everybody thought it was Chioma. Maybe it's not Chioma that gets the assurance. And that's what I want to discuss for today. The issue of baby mama in our society. And I want to go back, if you go back actually like 10, 15 years ago, it was okay, right? It was okay for a girl to have a child or maybe to be pregnant and then they marry, right? It was okay. But these days it seems like the guys, they're no longer interested in, you know, taking responsibility for a girl. So I wanted to ask you, should having a baby for a guy, all right, do you think it should be a precondition for wedding, having a baby for a guy?
No, I don't think it should be.
Okay. You don't think it
Yeah.
should be a precondition for a baby? What if the guy is wealthy, you know, he has some money and he said, "You know what, if you want to marry me, I want you to have a baby for me first." Is there any condition under which a guy um under which a girl should have a baby for a guy before wedding?
One thing I think is that these days women are using babies as baits, which is a really bad thing.
Oh,
Because you don't get into a situation with a guy who's financially stable and then get pregnant and then expect the guy to stay. Because I mean, like, first of all, I want to tell you something: that wealth comes with a lot of things. Pride. Wealth comes with pride. Wealth comes with you know I should I call it sexual immorality or something?
okay.
When people tend to get wealthy, when people get wealthy, they tend to get to addict to certain habits
Yeah.
that they didn't have before. Okay, in Davido's case, he's always had like money, right?
He's
Right?
always had what? David, he's always had money.
Yeah, it's not like he just grew up and started doing business and suddenly became rich. He's a rich boy, right? He's
Yeah.
also a
His
rich
father's a
family, isn't it?
billionaire. Yeah. He's always been rich.
Yeah, so right now it should, like, one thing I have to tell you is that women get into situations with guys expecting them to stay after getting pregnant for them, or having kids with them. That is how they end up being single mothers. I don't think it's it's right for a woman to use a child as a bait,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
to catch a guy or to make a man stay.
To
That is completely up. Yeah.
to catch a guy. That yeah, that's actually quite that's actually it's difficult, especially when the guy is Davido has been with Chioma. Davido has been in Chioma. What else does he want from the girl?
Mm.
I don't think he's gonna like want a wedding. It's like a chain around his neck. He doesn't want that. I don't think so. And these guys, they like to play a lot.
No, I mean, Davido is hardly 30, isn't it?
No, it's
Dude
not.
is still exploring. I mean, he's hardly 30, isn't it? I
Yeah,
don't think
no,
the guy's
it's
30
not. It's
yet.
not. So, well, I think
Yeah,
that's
so I mean, this is a guy who is exploring. He's still in, his early 20s or late 20s. Like guys with money and
yeah.
fame tend to not even settle down after 35. So I mean, a girl using a kid as a bait to catch a guy or to make Davido stay is completely, wrong.
Well, as it seems right now, the problem they've been having quite a lot of problem, and I don't know. But let's look at the good side. I don't want us to be like the prophet of doom or something. Let's look at the good side. Chioma has
Yeah.
2.5 million followers on Instagram, and we all know it's because of Davido. And she's still young. She's
Mm.
24, and well, she's sexy. I give her that. Do you think there's a
Yeah.
chance of Chioma finding another guy? With the history she had with Davido
Of
and all
course,
that.
of course, there is. There is. I mean, she's 24. Just like you say, she's sexy. She's a beautiful woman. I mean,
Yep.
there's so many chances. Sorry, there's so many chances of her getting another guy who's way better than Davido. Maybe Davido is wealthy and he is famous. That is something that tends to catch girls' attention and stuff.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
but let's look at it in the African context, okay? If
Mm.
I'm a guy and I bring a girl home to my mom and the girl already has a child, my mom is just gonna go like, is that are those the all is that all the girls you have around? Beside that, I think there's also this kind of negative stigma that comes with hooking up, marrying a girl that already has a baby, especially when the child belongs to Davido. Because, for example, my name is Bola, right? And if I get to hook up with Chioma, nobody remembers my name anymore. Everybody's gonna say, they're not gonna say Bola, they're gonna say, oh, that guy that is dating Davido's ex. It's like the name Davido is just gonna like
Yeah.
hang around my neck. Nobody remembers my name anymore. So I think that's quite that could be a little problem for her, finding some kind of high quality guy who care about their own identity. But I think she's gonna find a good guy someday because I don't think it's gonna work with Davido. She should forget it, right?
I think one thing. I think you're wrong.
Okay.
Ask me how.
How?
We live in the 21st century and bringing in the African context and the African culture and African values do not work when it comes to that anymore. I mean, these are guys on Instagram. They already. I mean, by the time somebody decides to get involved with a celebrity,
Okay.
or a celebrity getting involved with, so they're ready for whatever will come out of that situation they're having. You get the point?
Yeah.
So she was ready and she knew what she was. Let me tell you something. Do you know how many men want her right now after knowing that she has laid with Davido before? You have no idea.
That's
And that is the
that's
fame.
why
And
that's
then
why
what does the fame bring? The fame brings a lot more than you expect, more than what we think. You
that's
get
why I
the point?
said
So
that
a lot of guys would want to lay where Davido has laid. That is the point, bro. I mean, that is how the world revolves right now.
Anyway, that's why I said she has 2.5 million followers because we can have a lot of guys they need that fame. She has 2.5 million followers,
Yeah,
which means
sure.
that anybody who is dating Chioma tomorrow, that guy is gonna get popular. It's gonna blow up. So
Exactly.
it's
Yeah,
an advantage for her.
the world is gonna want to know. I mean, who was after Davido? I mean, it's not like she's. I mean, it's not like she's not seeing somebody else right now.
I
You
think
get the
so.
point. But maybe she's trying to keep it on the low because she's not with Davido anymore.
Yeah.
So she's probably seeing somebody low key. You get the point.
Yeah, I give you that.
Mhm.
So I think she's gonna get somebody too, but I
Yeah.
just hope that she doesn't become she doesn't become baby mama number 2, because it happens once, it can happen another time for a second time.
Is she into showbiz or something?
The chef is Chichi. She has a cooking show. She's like a chef.
See, I mean, the girl is already famous,
Yep.
so Davido just added in, like, onto her value. That's the thing.
No,
So
no,
it's
no.
not gonna be something
She wasn't
mainstream.
she wasn't that famous until she met Davido, but now she's famous and she can use she can use that.
Exactly. So something gotta. I mean, I mean, something had to come up. Something had to, get added onto her life to earn her more fame. But she was already famous. She was already there. So Davido topped it out.
Davido topped it out.
Yeah.
All right. So Joe, do you think it's okay this issue of women using baby as a bait? Do you think it's working in this day and age?
No. I think a lot of people are used to. Right now, a lot of people are used to being, single parents. So it's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal. So what about all?
Maybe some people, like, someone would get into a relationship, get a child for somebody just just so that her kid can get a last name, like, the last name of the family, that very family. So yeah, that is what people are doing right now.
All right, all right. Well, I agree
Yeah.
with you though, and it's certainly not the end of the world. And what about uh, single women out there that they have a kid, they have baby mamas? What do you have to say for them? Like to them moving forward with their life. You know, especially when the father is not
Yeah,
very around.
I think being a single mother is not the end of the road. I mean, there is always life after being a single mother. You can always find your soulmate after having a kid or two. I've seen people get into relationships, or getting married after after having three or four kids or even six kids with their
Mm,
spouses, and then when they split, they get married to other people.
mm,
There are other people. There are people out there who. It's not like every time you settle down with somebody, it's not like, oh, that is your soulmate. No, maybe some people rush into stuff
yeah.
because they think it's love or it's really nice.
Okay.
You get the point. And then at the end of the day, they come to realize that they made a mistake just because they were, they felt like it was too late for them, or they were, getting old, or all those kind of. There's a lot of
All right.
a lot of
Because
things that contribute to somebody being a single
a
parent.
single, right? I just actually think it's just an issue of this day and age that we are. Before it was not like this. Before it was totally okay. How many Christians, okay, how many of them actually, the religion say, okay, don't have a baby and then get married. But a lot of Christian marriages, the girl already has pregnancy, like she's already pregnant for like a month, 2 months, 3 months. It hasn't showed yet. But the guy still took
Yeah.
responsibility, and then they married, and then they have the child, and then nobody cares. But it's just that these days,
Yeah, these days
it's
it starts
changed
to
a
be
lot.
very popular.
It's changed a lot.
Yeah.
Like guys are not willing to take any responsibility for any lady anymore. And once you give,
I know a lot of people will judge me after hearing this, but I think, like, right now in this generation, it's the responsibility of a woman to know when and who not to be pregnant for. You get a point.
yeah,
I mean, you can know. I mean, if you will, you can always tell somebody's not serious. I mean, right now, even like high school kids know when somebody's lying.
yeah,
You will know a guy is stripping. You will know a guy is not ready. And there's so many methods of family planning and avoiding pregnancy. So I mean, like, right now, a woman getting pregnant for a guy is her responsibility. I should say. I'm sorry, but I mean, the moment you start laying with somebody, with having unprotected sex with somebody, you're ready for the repercussions.
yep,
You get the point. So it's not only the guys to blame. Oh, he left me. He left me as, like, he left me for a single mom. Sorry,
yeah.
he left me as a single mom. He wasn't serious. I mean, like, women are partly to blame.
Well, it's good to hear it from a woman. If I was a guy saying this, that women are partly to blame, then maybe some people will argue. But since it's coming from you, well, then
I don't want to be so much of a feminist. That's the
yeah,
thing. But I
uh,
mean, that's the truth. I mean, the moment you start having unprotected sex with a guy, you should be ready to either be a single mom or get infections or diseases of some
yep,
sort. Because I mean, you know what you're doing. I mean, are you ready to be a parent? If you are ready to be a parent, there are two things involved. You're either ready to get married to that person, or you're ready to be a single mother. You get the point? Because I mean,
exactly,
when you start laying with somebody, having unprotected sex with this guy, ask yourself, I mean, have you sat down and talked to him about, you know, being a parent, or do you see any interest of, in him, you know, being a father? Does he talk about kids? I mean, there's so many things that you can look at and
Yeah.
be like, oh, I should start, taking, I should start being cautious instead of like, waiting to blame the guy. Guys hate. I mean, guys will do shit, and then at the end of the day, the guy will be like, "Oh, I thought you were taking pills." Like, bruh, I thought you would use a condom too. You get the point.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I do.
sometimes guys don't think. So it's really women should be, wise enough right now when I see a woman blaming a guy for a pregnancy, I'm like, really? With all the almost free ways of protecting yourself, or family planning,
Yeah.
you still, manage to get pregnant.
Yeah.
Are you for real? That wasn't a night. There are even pills, 70, is it 72-hour pill that you can take? 72 hours is literally 3 days.
Yep.
You can tell me that you failed to, get that. You managed to sleep with a guy. I mean, you can remember after. And if you're living together, if you're cohabiting, that means you can, uh, you can get, a process that is longer.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many family planning methods that a woman can use.
Absolutely. In this day and age, it's very difficult for if a woman actually if she's pregnant, it's kind of her fault because we have so many chances to stop the pregnancy. Honestly, um, but
Yeah, that's right.
There's some cases. Okay, since we are in this discussion, I've heard about
Mm.
guys maybe in their late 30s. They're gonna tell the girl straight up, if I don't see you get pregnant, I'm not gonna marry you. Like straight up. I've seen, and I've heard about him. If they don't see the pregnancy on the girl, they don't want to marry you at all. What do you have for such girls? What advice will you give them when the guy insists?
Look, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something,
All right,
Donna. If somebody claims they love you, but they're giving you conditions, run. You get the point.
let's go back.
Because
If
love is
somebody says they love
unconditional. You
you
can't
and
tell
they're
me that
giving you
you love me. You
conditions,
want to spend the rest of my life with you. Sorry, you want to spend the rest of your life with me, and you're giving me conditions. Like, if you don't do this, what will happen when we get married and start getting, bad? That means you will run, or you will just abandon me. You get the point. Don't give
yeah.
me conditions if you want to be with me.
All right,
I should say, okay, you asked me to give, those kind of people advice in such situations, right?
yeah,
The kind of advice that I'm giving them is, don't settle down for less. Just because you're desperate, or just because you've been with somebody for a very long time, you feel like, oh, let me tell you, sometimes people tend to be scared of starting afresh. Starting afresh is really scary. I've
it's
been
hard.
there.
It's hard.
I know it's hard. So yeah, it's kind of scary. And most of the times you cling on something that is already rotten, just because you're afraid to start afresh with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And you keep on like going back to the same thing, to the same shitty thing that keeps screwing you over and over. And then, I mean, who is to blame? You, at the end of the day. You're not gonna blame anyone, because the guy already gave you the green light.
Yep.
I
He
mean,
did.
go. The guy already showed you, like, yo, go.
All right,
And then you decided to stay. So what
All
is
right,
that?
Joanna. Well, it's been quite nice having this conversation about Chioma, and then we actually flip it around and go into other more real life lifestyle situations. And this will be the end of our very first episode. And yep, see you on the next one.
Sure. Bye bye.
Yep, bye YouTube.